Okay. Well, the usual speakers that come to Reunion, we all know. They have become part of our family. People like Sam Surindran, people like Pastor Palan, and just our local speakers. We are familiar with them, and I believe that they will also bring something awesome. But the three other speakers that will join us this year, one who is no stranger to us, Pastor Matt Fielder. He has just come from Australia to KL, from Melbourne to KL, to take up a church here, or take up pastoral role in a church here. Now, even Pastor Matt Fielder, although we think we know him, but he himself has made some radical decisions in his own life to take his whole family, wife and two daughters, uproot them from a familiar ground in Melbourne to come to KL. Amat Saleh, as they would say, but one who has such a heart for Asia and especially Malaysia, and so I can expect something awesome from him. Justin Gardner is actually a pastor that I just met, and through the friendship I have with Steve Morrison. Both are senior pastors in their own right, but Justin has got a book out, and in that book he talks about his life, how once upon a time he was really just antichrist, gangster, one who did everything that a mom would say to her son never to do, almost even murdered a guy who he later on met when he became a Christian, just to say, hey, I almost killed you, and sorry, but I'm now a Christian, and I just want to confess, and I pray that you find it in your heart to forgive me. Stuff like that, and stories of the stories that Justin Gardner will tell you. Sometimes he will tell you this joke, sometimes he will tell you jokes like, sorry, Pastor Kenneth, I'm not very good with computer because the only time I used it was when I stole it, and so he has got stuff like that, which is funny as well, of his past. But when I spent even just one day with him in Australia, I saw him to be not only just funny and had a story, but he was very perceptive. Like the wisdom of God just came upon him at different times, and he was bold to speak it, and it was a real blessing. And I thought to myself, wow, if this kind of a person would come. And really, Justin wasn't even invited by me to come to KL. Steve was going to come to KL just to be a part of Reunion. He just heard wonderful things about Revel, heard that God was moving in Reunion, and so he wrote to me one day and said, Pastor Kenneth, guess what? Good news. My board has approved our budget to come, and so I'm going to come and I'm going to see and learn, and when I heard that, of course I was happy. But then I also knew that Steve had an amazing testimony, especially when he was a youth leader, a youth pastor. God did radical things through him, and again, doing it through him while he's a senior pastor now. And so humble, just to say, I want to come and learn at Reunion. But instead, I said to him, no, why don't you both learn whatever the Holy Spirit wanted to tell you and whatever the Holy Spirit wants to teach you, but also impart your life and invest into our dear precious people that will come as delegates for this conference.